What's up, y'all? Y'all know who it is, your boy JP the Install Guy. I hope to make your install life a little bit easier. Today we actually have another radio review. We're going to be featuring the Kenwood dmx7709s, and we're going to go ahead and jump into it right now. But if this is your first time here, then please consider subscribing, because these are the type of things that we do: car audio tutorials, radio removals, radio reviews, anything car audio install related. That's what the channel is about. And from time to time, I like to share my car audio knowledge, so whether you're a beginner or advanced, this channel just might be for you. Alright, so first let's actually go over what comes inside the box. So these are the components that come inside the box with the radio. First, you're going to have a warranty card directly with Kenwood. You can go to the website and register it if you want to, and you're going to get a quick start manual. This is going to have it in 3 different languages: English, French, and Spanish, and it's just going to basically give you some of the basic operations on how to do certain things within that radio. Next, you're going to have your wire harness and also a separate parking brake wire that will have to be installed. It's also going to come with a bag of deck screws, and those are going to be the screws that you would use to mount the radio inside the dash kit. And speaking of mounting, this radio actually does come with a mountable sleeve. This radio will be able to slide and lock in place, and then you'll be able to put the nice glossy trim plate over the front. We are actually mounting this in a dash kit for this Tahoe, so we don't actually need the sleeve or the trim plate, but it is good that it comes with those 2 items. And to go along with that sleeve, you're going to have the radio keys. So if you need to take this radio out to service it, you don't have to take the whole thing apart. You can just slide these keys in and it will unlock this radio from the mounting sleeve, and you can just pull it out if you choose to mount it that way. Next, you're going to have a Bluetooth microphone. Every aftermarket car stereo is going to come with an external mic, whether it's going to be built into the radio or they're going to give you a microphone, so it definitely comes with that piece. And lastly, it's going to come with a GPS antenna and the GPS mounting plate. Now, this radio does not have built-in navigation. It is not a navigation radio, but it does have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Next, just looking at the radio, I like the sleek, kind of clean look of it. This will not be considered a 7-inch screen. As a matter of fact, it's going to be a 6.8-inch screen, because the screen is actually from here to here. But it does give you that small touch panel on the left hand side, but it doesn't actually go for your screen size. So even though you may seem like you're getting a full 7 inches, the screen size is actually 6.8. And since this is a media streamer, it is also called a mechless unit, so it does not have the CD or DVD component inside the radio, so it is half the size as far as depth, which is going to make it a whole lot easier when it comes to actually installing, with having all those wires with the wire harness from the radio and the one in the car to actually install inside that dash. Alright guys, so let's take a look at the back of the radio. Starting from the left right here, we actually have an HDMI port. I'm going to go ahead and let you know what cable you need to get. Kenwood sells one. It's the KCA HD200. And what you do is you'll remove this screw, put the mini side inside of there, and then lock that back in. So if you have any type of high definition video input that you would need to go into this radio, you can do that through the HDMI. Right here, you're going to have the rear camera output. Rear camera input. So if you're hooking up a backup camera, you can hook that up to there. And we also have another video out. This audio video input is going to look like a 3.5mm jack on one end, and it's going to have your left and right audio and a video RCA jack on the opposite end, and it gives you that option right there. Right here we have our GPS antenna connection. That's where we'll hook up that antenna, and this is going to be our power plug for our harness that needs to be hooked up to the car harness, also with the 10-amp fuse. Next, we're going to move over here to this very nice size fan with very good ventilation at the back. It's going to keep all the components of the radio very, very cool. And then we're going to have our 3 sets of 4-volt RMS RCA outputs. So you're going to have your front, your rear, and a dedicated sub output. Next, you got these 2 wires right here. Now, this one is for that parking brake wire, and this purple one with the white stripe is going to be your reverse trigger. So if you're installing a backup camera, this is the wire that has to be hooked up to the reverse circuit. That way it changes the screen so you can see that backup camera image. Now, this one right here is for the front camera. So not only can you install a rear backup camera, but you can install a front camera as well. These two connectors are very important. This one right here is going to be for your antenna if you still listen to AM and FM radio, and this one right here that says mic is where that external Bluetooth microphone is going to be plugged into. Also built into the back of the radio is going to be a 4-foot extension of a USB. Since this has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, you will have to actually hook up your lightning cable from your phone to this cord in order for that to work, because the Android Auto and Apple CarPlay on this radio is not wireless. And the last two components that we have here is going to be a Sirius XM V300 tuner connection on the back. This radio is Sirius XM ready, so no radio actually has Sirius XM built inside of it. What they do is they will sell you a V300 tuner that you can plug into the back from Sirius XM, and that's how you'll be able to control your satellite radio from the radio. And these last two connections right here are going to be for the iDataLink Maestro RR. If you have a vehicle where you control a lot of stuff from your factory radio, like your heated seats, your AC controls, you may see some gauges, any type of backup camera sensors or anything like that, there's going to be a lot of features that's inside the radio that you're going to lose when you take out the factory radio. So you have to get the Maestro RR to actually keep all of that stuff, retain everything that's done through data through that port and a separate part. Alright, so first thing you want to do when you actually turn your radio on is turn your demonstration off. If you don't, that thing will be flashing by every 1 minute that it goes with on activity. We don't want to mess with that language because we want to keep it English. Front camera we're not going to mess with, but we will go to the rear cam just to make sure that everything is lining up properly. Now in the guidelines setup, that's where you would go if you want to actually change the way that your guidelines are set. I don't really want to mess with those because the camera has its own lines that we've installed on this car. So we're going to actually turn the parking guidelines off, and that's going to be the guidelines that's inside the radio. Now the rear camera interruption, we want to keep that on, because what that does is it allows us to hook up that reverse trigger wire to the purple with the white stripe, so when we put it in reverse it automatically changes the screen. So we're good on those settings. Now user customization, that's if we want to go ahead and change our panel color, which would be right over here: red, green, yellow, orange, or you can actually scan through all of them. Home design, you can actually change it so you can see what it's going to actually look like, and you can change your wallpaper right there. I'm not going to mess with any of that stuff because I like to keep it for the customer. Now you can actually change the degree of where you're going to be viewing. If you are inside of a truck where the dash is a lot higher, you can change it to a 20-degree viewing angle to where you're kind of slightly looking up. If you're in a truck to where your dash is a little bit lower, then you can change your viewing to about 10 degrees, 5 degrees, and 0. Of course, we're probably going to do like a 5-degree because it's just slightly down. After that, we're going to click finish. All right, here we're gonna be able to turn our volume down there, turn our volume up here. If we hold the microphone, it's gonna give us the option to do like a voice call or something like that with certain commands. Now you have to have your Bluetooth actually hooked up. We're gonna go in how to set that thing up a little bit later. Those three lines are going to bring up a top menu to where you can actually change between different devices that's paired through the Bluetooth. You can do some type of brightness screen adjustment. You can actually turn the display off. You can click on here to go to your camera, and here you can go from a setup and then go back to the radio and close the menu. Now over here is going to be the power button, so if we hold it, it's going to turn the display off as well, but if we just press it, it's going to take us to our home screen. Now down here at the bottom, you're going to see a couple options where you're going to have radio, Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto. And depending on what type of phone you have or what cord is actually plugged into the USB, is going to determine which one is actually highlighted. Alright, so right here we have the telephone feature, and of course you have to have your phone paired through Bluetooth, but we'll just go over what this kind of display means. This button right here at the top is going to show you your call history, so that's going to be incoming, outgoing, and missed calls will show up here. That's going to be your phone book. This star is going to be your favorites or your speed dial from back in the day. This thing at the bottom, when you press that, it's going to show you the dial pad, which will allow you to dial a phone number going out. And this right here is going to be the same thing as this on the voice command if you wanted to do a voice dial. This right here at the bottom is going to allow you to click whichever device that you want. We don't actually have anything paired up at the moment, but it will show you that if you do have to put in the pin code, it's going to be 4 zeros, and when you're looking for the device name is going to be dmx7709s. Right here at the top on device list allows you to go in and choose which phone you want to have primary and secondary. Now back at the home screen, if we go to these little dots over here, they do bring up all the other features that we have within the radio. So with the Sirius XM V300 plugged in, we can click that and it's going to take us to our Sirius XM source. Of course, all your other sources are going to be here. The Android Auto, the Apple CarPlay, radio, Bluetooth audio is where you're going to be able to stream any type of music wirelessly. Now, when you actually plug your phone in and it goes to the Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, it will mimic the iOS system for Apple CarPlay or have its own software for Android Auto up to where you can control your music while it's plugged in. And even if you do press the telephone or the Bluetooth audio buttons, it will take you directly to Apple CarPlay or Android Auto as long as that phone is connected. Now over here, you can click on USB and use it as a source. If you have a flash drive that has music, movies on it or whatever, just plug it into that USB extension and then you'll be able to use that as a source to where you can play your music and all that type of stuff. Now if we hit this arrow going over here, we will be able to get just a couple more features. Standby just means that it's going to turn the radio off or at least the display off. Audio video input, that's if we have something that's coming into this radio, and that's when you're going to need that 3.5 millimeter jack to the RCA on the other end. Now that one port that I was telling you about for the iDataLink Maestro, if we click on OEM features, it's going to give us all these features. Now you're going to see that it's actually grayed out because we don't have the Maestro RR with the T harness for this vehicle installed. When you do have it installed, all these actually become illuminated to where you can check your gauges. You can do your different climate controls, parking assist. Vehicle info is going to be like your battery voltage. It's going to show oil pressure. It's going to show tire pressure. If a door is open, it'll show that as well. And just any type of OEM features that came with your factory radio will be retained if you use the Maestro RR and plug it inside that port that we talked about earlier. Well, I hope you guys found this radio review a little bit valuable. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button, comment, subscribe, share if you want to. I will have the product link in the description, and for those who want to be a furthermore supporter, that Patreon will be in the description as well. Not to forget that the Introduction to Car Audio Masterclass course is being created right now. Very excited to be able to pour more into you guys with these car audio knowledge that I have to give to you guys, to where if you want to just feel more comfortable when installing your own car audio equipment yourself, or you want to actually make a career out of installation, I got you. So more details on that coming a little bit later. Till then, this your boy JP signing out, and I hope everybody has a blessed day. Peace.